Two. All right, we got Mr. Kolton. How do you say your last name?
Oie.
Oie? Such a dope last name.
Appreciate it.
What do you call it? So, do you go by Cole or Kolton, really?
I go by both.
Okay.
I started saying Cole specifically at F45 just because it was easier with the masks on.
Yeah.
Easier to hear.
Yeah, I started saying Nate instead of like Nathaniel or Nathan because like a lot of people remember short names quicker.
Yeah.
And I was just like, it's good for people to remember your name, especially if you're coaching. And just like to the point, just call me that. We're good to go.
Yeah, just say it. Just nice and short. And I go by Cole. Like I didn't just start that at F45, but
yeah.
Like a lot of my friends, a lot of my family calls me Cole.
Okay.
But just specifically there, I was like, I'm just gonna go with that. So most people like at F45 where we met, would probably think of me as Cole and say Cole. More than Cole.
Do you like F45? Because you still coach at F45 right now.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Do I like working there or do I like the workouts?
I don't know, both.
I guess I like both.
Okay.
I like both. I like I always thought about, considered being a trainer for about like the last 8 years. Never really did it because I was working in restaurants.
Well, you played sports growing up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was basically my whole life until...
Football? Was it football?
Football, baseball, wrestled. I stopped playing baseball my senior year and ran track.
Okay.
Instead.
Why did you want to be a trainer? Cheers, by the way.
I
want to let you know if you like this.
Let's go.
It's a little bit more floral.
It's fucking great.
Yeah?
This dude makes the best cocktail.
Thank you. We're getting there.
I swear to God, dude, these have both been delicious. Why did I want to be a trainer? Once I stopped playing sports, I just started working out a lot. Honestly, I broke my senior year of football. I dislocated my elbow.
Okay. My
left one. I'm a smaller. I was never been a huge dude.
You're tallish though. You're like close to 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even like I wasn't the shortest dude on my football team.
Yeah.
In high school, but I think I was one of the lightest.
Okay.
Weight wise, but regardless, so I was just like, and I'm right-handed. My left arm was already kind of a smaller arm.
Sure.
So when I got my cast off, I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah. You're like, I need to start working out.
Yeah. So I always had worked out forcibly through sports. So of course I didn't really want to do it. But then right at the end of high school was like the first time, which I wish it happened sooner, where I was doing it on my own.
Okay.
And like choosing to go to the weight room. And I put on a lot of weight.
Yeah.
I put on like 20 pounds.
Oh shit.
Of muscle pretty quick. And then like my freshman, sophomore year, that kept like, I'd literally kind of like bulk up and then I'd do like a summer job.
Sure.
And it'd be,
slimming up.
Lose a bunch of weight and then I gain it back and like sophomore year kind of just stuck. But so then once I got into college and stopped playing sports, working out just became like my sport.
Yeah.
Basically.
What type of workouts did you do right out of like sports in high school or college? Did you play college sports too?
No, I was gonna play football.
Okay.
I chose not to. I could have wrestled.
Chose not to.
I stopped wrestling actually early.
Yeah.
In high school. That's what I did. I did really well at all sports, but wrestling specifically.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to do it in college. There was a lot going on, so I ended up stopping that early.
Yeah. So what type of weight training did you do right after all these sports?
Just a lot of strength. I was just trying to honestly bulk. I was trying to gain weight and get stronger.
What were the movements that you were trying doing to get there?
Just your typical, like a bench press a lot. Like when I first started, of course, I wasn't doing a lot of legs when I first started.
Yeah, no one wants to do legs when they first start weightlifting.
I hated it. I hated it for the longest time. I like it a lot now.
I like it a lot now too.
I like it a lot.
Leg day's always good. I mean, like it feels like more of an ab workout, especially the more weight that you put on, because you're just like squeezing like your whole body like as tight as possible.
Yep.
And then it's just I feel like every compound movement's like basically a full body movement at this point. I mean, like when you're throwing on a bench press, you're pushing your heels into the floor as hard as you can. You know.
Yeah, when I first started, I was really just doing chest.
Okay.
Arms. I would do that twice a week, and that I got bigger. I was like, oh shit! That was the first time, honestly. I did it consistently. I was doing it on my own. I was eating protein consistently, and it worked. Like, all these other summer training programs that I did that were forced, I just didn't give it a full effort as a kid.
Yeah.
So they thought it could kind of work, but not enough. But honestly, I think it was time too, because our summer like weight training program that our football coaches made us do.
Yeah.
Was basically the same as we did in school. I would take weight training classes.
Sure.
So, but they were longer, and I would see results from the classes, but not so much the summer, because I think it was just like 2 months or a month and a half.
Yeah.
I just don't think it was enough time, really.
Yeah, it takes a long time. A lot of people, especially like clients and stuff, they're like, I want to lose 30 pounds in 3 weeks and gain 20 pounds in 1. So I'm like, sick, that's not going to happen.
Exactly. Yeah. How much time do you get? Yeah, and they're like, by the end of the month.
Yeah. So back to like all this weight training, you started doing like bench press, started doing upper body, all these like heavy compound movements. Like, what inspired you to be, or like want to become a trainer?
I think just the love for doing it.
Yeah.
And for me,
why did you love doing it?
It was like a physical thing. Of course, you know this, but it's like a physical thing, but it's also a mental thing.
Sure.
Like, you feel good that you're getting stronger. You feel good about probably looking better.
Mm-hmm.
You feel more confident. You feel happier. It's a stress reliever, and it just became such a strong habit for me. It became the strongest habit I have. I was all the time from that point on, from the end of high school, all the way through college, even to now. Like,
do you work out at least like 5 days a week right now? 4 or 5?
4. I'd say 4 at least. Sometimes 5. Like my schedule now, just because of the way it is, I probably do 4.
Mm-hmm.
But for a long time, like in college, I would 5 days a week, every day, sometimes 6.
Yeah, I always tell people that I think fitness just makes me a better human. I don't know if it not necessarily just physically, like my mind is clearer, my my attitude, my positivity is like better. Like absolutely. I don't know the scientific reasons behind it. I just know it that is
happens.
Facts.
That happens.
You know,
I always when I'll go lift by myself, I do think my mind's kind of always constantly running, but like in those moments where I'm just like tired, I don't know, I think really clear, and like things maybe I've been like thinking about or questioning back and forth in your own head, like they just kind of come to me at those times a lot. I don't know why it is, but it'll be like, oh yeah, I should just do that, and it's like, I don't know.
What do you think about when you work out? Like if you're gonna lift a really, really heavy squat or deadlift or bench press, like what's your like go-to like emotion, or like, because obviously like a lot of people like go to some spot where they can like get that inner like beast, I guess.
Are you saying if I'm gonna do something that I know is like gonna be fucking hard?
Yeah, like a workout that's gonna be extremely hard, or a lift one, mostly like a specific lift. Because if you take an F45 class, it's gonna be really hard, right? Yeah. The whole entire way, but you're not really like preparing for that class in a mindset. But like if you're gonna lift like 300 pounds on a bench press, you're gonna be like, oh shit, like I need to get in a different headspace.
I'm gonna go to specifically like a back squat.
Okay.
I don't remember where I picked this up. I saw this from somebody. But just like literally thinking about my fucking legs are strong as shit.
Okay.
Like I'm not saying that like
no
to be arrogant, but that's what I'm thinking about at this moment, because I know this is gonna be hard. Like if it's really gonna be a test of like I don't even know if I can do this. Yeah. Like that's what I'm trying to think in that moment of like my legs are like tree trunks and they're not. But that's the mindset I guess I try to get into. Like, when I'm gonna push something that I know I might not be able to do and I really want to do it. Yeah. And I do think it helps. I don't know. You like convince yourself. It's that like self-talk. Yeah. And it's not like I'm just thinking that the whole workout. No, that's like at that moment for that whatever. You're just trying shit. Seconds, you feel like that. I'm trying to convince my body parts. Yeah. You can lift this shit. Yeah. Yeah.
I go into a really dark spot. Like if like the other day I was bench pressing sets of 3 at 235 pounds. Yeah. Right. And like for my weight, I only weigh like 160 now. It's like a decent amount. And every set, I just go dark into a space of like, I have like a decent amount of people who like pass away in my life. I'm like, oh, this dude died. I'm still here. Like, I'm going to fucking get this shit up because, you know, I need to. For them. And I don't know if that's like I don't know if that's weird or anything like that, but like that's how I get a lot of weight up most of the time, just putting your headspace in an area where it not normally is.
Yeah, I think that's a great example of, I do similar things of like you kind of trick yourself, not even trick yourself.
It's kind of tricking yourself though.
You just give yourself a reason, like however it is
to do it,
to be like, oh, I need to do this because of something, like, oh, that person said this, or maybe they think that, or this happened to me, so like because of that I need to bench press this.
I know. Like, what do you call so you moved out to LA how many years ago now?
What is
3?
2022, dude. The years are going. 3 years.
3 years now? And you moved out here for
I
acting, right?
I think it's almost 3 full years, something like that. But yeah, moved out here for mostly acting. I wanted to live here.
Okay.
Always as a kid growing up. I'm from Minnesota.
Yeah.
So like LA definitely has that nostalgia. Like, oh my God, it's LA.
Do you love it?
Place. I do now. I didn't as much.
I hated it my first year. I love it now.
Yeah, I didn't. I've talked about this with 3 people, kind of ironically, in the last like week.
Yeah.
Where I didn't love it as much as I thought I would when I first moved here.
What was the reasoning when you initially didn't like it?
I don't know. Like, I always say Hollywood or whoever it is that's doing the marketing for LA does a great fucking job because they make you think it's gonna be
like
this
sunshine and
magical
rainbows.
Place. And there's places that are,
Yeah.
but a lot aren't.
Yeah.
And I think just the craziness of it, like the dirtiness, did surprise me.
Yeah,
I
like
didn't expect all that.
Sunset Boulevard, where the Walk of Fame is and everything like that.
Yeah.
It is not pretty.
No, not at all.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's not. It's not a great place. But it's funny because that was kind of the thing of like, oh,
It's very romanticized.
absolutely. But
Yeah.
that's the same exact reasons of why I think now I love it.
Okay,
Like
explain.
the craziness. So at F45 in Santa Monica, where I'm at now, you know, the homeless is what it is in LA, and it's kind of crazy, and we're constantly on that corner
Yeah.
dealing with like, it's kind of a hub. There's a liquor store there that opens at like 7:30 in the morning.
Oh shit.
Like, yeah. And I think they kind of help out some homeless guys. They'll give them some food, I think. So there's just often a lot of craziness going on there, so we deal with it all the time. But the craziness of LA, I guess, is what I'm getting at. I think why I love it now, because when I go back home, it's really quick to where I'm bored.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, I think I went home too, and I live in California, but it's very like farmy hometown vibes,
same.
and a lot of agriculture is done there, a lot of farmland, and it's so easy. There's nothing going on.
Yeah, you're
Like,
where's the craziness?
where's the craziness?
That makes me feel on edge
Yeah.
every time I walk outside.
I
my
always tell
apartment.
people I love LA because everyone's hustling, you know, and it kind of pushes you to become a better person. If that's like physically, financially, business wise, everything like that. Everyone's chasing their curiosities or chasing a dream, which is like, by statistic numbers, like a lot of people aren't going to get to. But the fact that everyone is doing it, and that there are people like going to achieve those things, it's just like you're in the right spot where all these people who you've looked up to, at least for me, like if it's actors, if it's businessmen, if it's like anyone who's achieved anything great, like a lot of that has happened in this city, you know? And I'm just like, okay, they did it, and I'm here too. I can too.
It's possible.
Yeah, it's
That's the
possible.
thing, you know it's possible here.
Yeah.
And you do feel that. I remember feeling that right away when getting here. I just felt like, yeah, shit can happen here. Like, crazy, cool things can happen in the city, and you just feel that here. Like, that is true, I think. I remember that right away.
Yeah.
Just feeling like the things that I want to accomplish can be done here where they just can't be done where I'm from. And it's just because it's just not a thing there. It's not a part of the literal economy. Like,
that's
Hollywood shit.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to say, because like it's weird to define a place of like, oh yeah, you can't do that there.
Yeah.
Like, for example, as easy as we'll just give personal training, like the rates that I charge in LA, I can't even charge a quarter of that in my hometown. To be like, what are you doing? You know,
it'd be crazy.
It's like, that's not a thing there, but it's common here. It's common. It's common for any type of coaching. Like if it's acting coaching, it's personal training, is it life coaching, is it anything? Like people pay haircuts. Like
a lot.
like back in my hometown, I think $15 is like an expensive haircut. Out here, people are charging hundreds of dollars for a fucking haircut, dude.
Yeah, I think I'd pay like 20 to 30 back home. Then you give it a little tip, but here, like 40 is a cheap one.
Yeah, 40 is a cheap haircut.
60 to 80 bucks is what I would see.
Yeah, normal.
Yeah, obviously I'm not getting too many haircuts.
Yeah, I was about to say. I grew my hair out before you met me, like around my shoulders.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What happened?
Dude, I don't know how you do it because the upkeep for long hair is like it takes forever to dry.
That is the
Like I don't know. I didn't know shedding was a thing, but like I shed it a
dude,
lot,
it's
bro.
crazy. You always like when you like I have a sister, and whatever when you're just around girls, you're just like, how the fuck, like where's this hair coming from? And then when you have long hair, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
it's constantly falling out.
Yeah.
When it's short, you just don't see it. You just don't notice
Yeah,
it.
you don't notice it at all.
Dude, when I wash my hair, it's like I can just make a ball every time. It's
Every
like, how am I
time.
not bald by now? But yeah, I don't do too much for it. But that specific thing, the drying.
What was the reasoning for oh, you don't do too much for it?
No, like I don't do anything.
What's the reasoning for growing it out? You just like the long hair look?
Yeah, I always had long hair growing up. Not this long, but like longer.
Sure.
I like skateboarded and
Yeah.
kind of like that look, I guess, as a kid. And
Yeah, you look like typical surfer dude.
see, I don't surf. I want to surf. I've done it once.
You want to come? I got some extra boards back here, bro.
I'd absolutely
We'll
go.
go some beginner surfing.
I'd absolutely go. I actually got a board.
Oh,
Someone
okay.
hooked me up at F45
Heck yeah.
with a used one. It's kind of beat up in the front, but I haven't quite used it yet. I need to start.
I mean, you're in
going out
Santa
there.
Monica every day, bro.
Dude, I know. I know. That's the thing too. I honestly, the first couple months I was there, I didn't even. You know, you get busy and like I was there, but I didn't like take advantage of the beach.
It's weird too. I worked in Santa Monica, this rooftop bar about 2 years ago called Sonoma Wine Garden at the time,
Yeah.
and then I worked at Oasis, which is like the nightclub. It was 41 Ocean. I don't know if you heard of it. It's literally a block down from F45,
Okay.
but it closed down during pandemic.
Okay.
But you're literally right across the street from the beach, but I
Yeah.
never went.
Never.
You know, and I was just like, So I started taking breaks and just like sitting on a bench and looking at the ocean because objectively, dude, like most people in the United States don't get to see that.
And they want to be there.
And they want to
They
be
wanna be
there.
right there
And you're
at that
complaining
spot.
about all your fucking problems, like all this stuff, everything like that.
And just not taking advantage of
the
it.
least you could do is like
For everybody.
sit down and appreciate this ocean and sunset that you get to witness every day if you choose to.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I made a very specific point to start going. So I actually go to the beach a lot now between, because I'll do the morning block of classes, like the 4 in a row.
Yeah.
And then I'll do the noon
Mhm.
often. So for a while I would work out, and then I'd go like sit in my car, try to like research something, or like sometimes I would take a nap.
Yeah.
I'm just exhausted. But I've made a point now, a couple months ago, probably 2 months ago. Like I'll do a workout, and then I'll just go straight to the beach to at least be there for like 30 minutes to an hour, because like I'm right there, dude. And like the first couple months I worked there, I never went.
Yeah.
And every day when I'd leave, I can see it as I'm driving away.
And it's
like-
weird too because you see all these cars. There's so many people from around the world literally coming to Santa Monica,
Yeah.
where this is their destination, where they romanticize it and
Yep.
see it. And you're blessed to be here every single day, and you should take advantage
Yep.
of it.
Yep.
You
And
know?
I forget that. I don't know if it's because like where I grew up wasn't just like that. Like I'm like my mindset when you're just going day to day and you're just kind of like on almost autopilot.
Yeah.
Like I'll have to remind myself like, oh yeah, this is like a worldly destination. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'll see say like I saw Action Bronson
Yeah.
running one day.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, that's Action Bronson. And there's something like that. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger will ride by on his bike.
Well, he's at
He lives over there, doesn't he?
he's at Gold's all the time.
Yeah, and it's just like so you remember like, oh yeah, like worldly famous people are like trying to live. Everyone around the world like wants to come here at least to visit or live
Yeah.
or something. And it's just like, oh yeah, it's cool. But I forget, I guess. At the
Everyone
time when you're just going through your day.
Everyone forgets. I mean,
Yeah.
like everyone has their own problems, everything like that. But the least you could do for like just the world, dude, and like it just not be selfish is like to appreciate where you're at. Because
Yeah.
LA, dude, like is some of the best weather too. Like even my hometown, like it's only 4 hours away, and during the summer it's like 100 degrees, 110, almost every day, and that's hot as shit. And
hot as shit.
in LA, hot is like 85.
Bro, you're in the valley though. It gets hot as fuck.
It gets hot here. Yeah, it gets hot here. But I lived in Santa Monica for a long time.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I lived in Santa
Why'd you
Monica. It's cheaper over here, nicer over here, and tourist traffic gets like bad. So like honestly, it's like in the best area in terms of it's in the middle. If I want to go to downtown, I could be there in 30 minutes. If I want to be on the west side, I could be there in 30 minutes, and depending on what time you live. But it feels right now like I lived in city, I lived in beach area, and it feels like the most homey for long-term period, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. I like this spot too. If I move back to the valley, I think the only place I would go is Studio City. Are you in Toluca Lake technically?
Toluca Lake, technically. I was in Studio City, but like, dude, a lot of people who live in this area are very like homey people. It's not like trying, I don't know, it's not very city life. But the thing is, you could be in the city in 30 minutes. You could be downtown in 30 minutes. And if you want that, you could be there for like a weekend or a day, or See,
that's what I do like where I'm at now, being
you're Hollywood?
I'm in like mid Wilshire.
Okay.
So just a little bit south
Mid-city?
west of that. Just I think just north of that. Like it's a weird spot. It's called Miracle Mile. There's like multiple names.
Oh yeah, Miracle Mile.
Miracle Mile, mid Wilshire. Yeah, there's like whatever, but it's a good spot because I'm right off La Brea, and La Brea is it's got some action going on.
It does.
But just 2 blocks in, which we are, it's like this nice neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's a bunch of multi-units on our streets, but then like 2 or 3 more streets, then it becomes like these really fucking nice family homes.
Yeah.
And so it just very quickly goes from kind of like fun, I guess, city life, you'd say, to this
neighborhoody
neighborhood.
Yeah.
And we're literally right in the heart of like the west side, west of downtown LA.
Yeah.
So similar to kind of here, where I feel very central, right? I can get to Santa Monica usually.
Depending on traffic. If you're leaving for your 5 a.m. class, you could get there in 15 minutes.
That's why I work.
Yeah.
15 minutes in the morning, but literally even at 1:30, I go home, or 1 o'clock, it's already 30
What's
minutes.
it probably taking you an hour some days, like the worst case scenario?
Honestly, to get there, not for F45 though, because in the afternoon when I come home, when I've worked out after the noon class, so then I actually don't leave until like 2 to 2:30. Yeah, that's definitely the worst.
Yeah,
but I usually don't do that. So, and that's probably been like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
When I go home at like 1 o'clock, it's like 30.
Okay.
And even when I would do evenings there, I'm like the opposite of traffic.
Okay.
So it actually wasn't too terrible.
Yeah.
But it has taken me just to go to Santa Monica, like on a Saturday. A friend was visiting once, one of my friends from back home when I lived downtown. But I was right next to the 10.
Sure.
So honestly, the time it took to get to Santa Monica, living downtown and where I'm at now, was the same. Because right now I have to go through all the damn stoplights in La Brea.
Yeah.
But from that place downtown, right next to the freeway, it took us like an hour and a half.
Oh shit!
To get to Santa Monica one day. It fucking took forever, just bumper to bumper traffic all the way across the 10.
Yeah, that's the only thing I really, really hate about LA is the traffic.
Yeah, and I try to really manipulate my schedule to not be driving
at those times.
Like,
yeah,
I really.
What's your workout regimen right now? Like after class and stuff, do you take a class or do you have your own thing that you do?
I do my own stuff. I don't do too many classes there just because it doesn't work with my schedule much because I coach most of them.
Yeah, but you can take it after, like, on your own.
Yeah, true. I don't want to work that fast.
Yeah.
I want more of, like, the strength. So I want a longer rest period than 30 seconds you usually get, or 15 seconds sometimes.
5 seconds sometimes.
Literally. All right, next station. All right, start.
Yeah. Especially red line, bro. Like, yeah.
Did you, so are you still coaching now? Or you're not?
Yeah, I coach probably like once a month.
Did you do the Gunnar Peterson one?
Yeah.
Did you like that one?
Yeah, it's very CrossFit-y.
I liked it.
I like it a lot because like you just get to keep your reps in your own head, and like it's nonstop burning like a fuck ton of calories.
Yeah.
And like he's known for like his workout style and everything like that. It's kind of cool to see. Like David Beckham has his workout through F45 now. It's cool that they're integrating like different styles of workout.
Yeah.
I just don't really understand the programming of it in terms of like there's cardio days, there's strength days, and it's all general like fitness. Yeah. There's no like focus, if that makes sense. Yeah. So like for me, like if I'm trying to gain muscle, none of the F45 workouts are gonna like make you jacked.
No, none.
A lot of them will make you like more aesthetically pleasing. By all means, every single F45 workout, even if it's a strength training or a cardio day, you're burning a ton of calories. So like, if you're if you're just trying to like burn calories, it's like I think one of the best workouts.
Yeah.
Because it's 45 minutes, you burn 700 calories.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, that's quick.
Yeah.
Like, I could go on a run for 45 minutes. Not 45 minutes, but I could go on a run and I won't burn that many calories.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, that's a good point. There really is no, I guess.
It's like the goal is just to get fit.
Just to get fit, yeah. And that's why it's perfect. I've seen so far, so I've been doing it a year, basically. And I think the people who I see the best results on are either they used to be fit and they kind of let themselves go, and they come in and they just like bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're doing a lot.
It's very doing athlete training too.
Absolutely.
Like a lot of athletes have done well.
Absolutely. Oh, they crush those classes.
Yeah.
Like they're hard, but they pick it up really quickly. And then someone I guess who's just kind of heavier. Like the people who are heavier and then you can just slim down and they look really aesthetically pleasing. Those people, I don't know. It just seems to work the best for them. Like if you're trying to get jacked and build a bunch of muscle, it's not going to happen there because
I've seen a lot of people lose a ton of weight.
Yeah, losing weight and just like you gain muscle because we have the in-body
tracker or body scan.
Yeah. And so when I was at WeHo, it didn't work.
Yeah.
So we never used it.
True.
Ours works at Santa Monica, and a lot of people will not be losing as much weight as they want, but that's because they've gained muscle mass.
Yeah.
So it's not that they're getting jacked, but just within their own body, they've turned some fat to muscle.
Yeah.
So like, why haven't I lost more weight than this? And it's
sure.
Like, well, you've just gotten stronger. You've gotten a little bit of muscle, but you're not getting.
Yeah, because muscle obviously weighs way more than like fat.
Yeah, but to your point, you're not getting. That's exactly why I do my own workouts.
Yeah. So what do you program? What do you program for yourself? Do you follow something? What do you do?
Honestly, this last year has probably been the worst.
Sure. You got a very athletic aesthetic. Like you look like a wrestler.
That's what I think that's what built. I mean, there's obviously genes, but growing up doing that, I think that probably shaped just how my body was.
Do you naturally stay lean? Because I feel like you're very a lean guy.
Yeah, that's why I'm the opposite. I will lose weight if I stop working out because I think I lose muscle. Yeah, I have a high metabolism, so I don't I'll get a little softer in a sense, but I'll lose weight.
That's very I mean, it's a blessing and a curse in some things because like a lot of people they struggle with like weight differently. They're like, they have to pay attention to their diet, everything like that. For example, like my girlfriend too, like she could eat whatever the fuck she wants and she stays lean, but she'll lose weight if she doesn't work out. You know, and like for me, it's like I have to pay attention way more to my diet than working out. Like working out's like fine, but if I want to stay lean, it's mostly diet. You know? Yeah.
I can tell. I think now, obviously, as you get older, like I don't think my metabolism is ever gonna go away. Like people will say, just genetics wise, looking at my dad. My dad's still very thin. He's like in his 50s. And he's a constant. He drinks beer regularly. He doesn't. He like at one time, like 1 year or two, he kind of had when I would come home from college, like
skinny fat.
Yeah, one time he all of a sudden he kind of had a little gut, and I was like, oh. Is that happening now? But then, like, the next year, it was gone. Yeah. So it's like, I think I'm just lucky that way where I'm just going to be thin metabolism-wise.
Sure.
But I don't remember where I was going with that. But, yeah, I have a hard time. I've lost weight moving here for sure, like a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I think because the hustle culture, like, I don't care about eating as much.
Moving all the time,
especially at 45, like. Physically working,
honestly,
and then physically working out.
The yelling at clients and motivating people, and you're moving all the time. It's like 5 classes a day is no joke. I did it when you first met me. I was doing that. I wasn't bartending at the time, and I was teaching 7 classes a day. And that's tough.
Very like a zombie.
Yeah, zombie, dude. I lose my voice all the time.
The first month I was there, on my podcast, one of the episodes is sound like that. It was because I was just yelling, every day for hours.
Yeah, what's your podcast called? The Breakdown. The Breakdown.
The Kome Up.
The Kome Up. Sorry.
Inverse.
That was the opposite of that. What made you want to start that podcast?
I've kind of noticed. a trend in my life where like if I'm really interested in something, it doesn't take very long where I just think like, oh, I want to do that.
Okay.
And so I was watching a lot of podcasts.
Sure.
And I was just like,
what are some of your favorite podcasts?
Of course, I was watching a lot of Joe Rogan.
I
the
love
last
Joe
couple of
Rogan.
years.
Yeah.
There was a while where I'd just like binge. When I was in college, I lived like an hour and a half from where I grew up. And I was dating a girl at the time who lived back in that area, close to kind of where I grew up. So I would always listen to his podcast driving back and forth.
Sure.
And I just like, my brother, I remember telling me about it. My brother, shout out to Jace, because my brother Jace, he'll tell me about something, kind of trying to put me onto it, and I'll like dabble with it for a little bit, and then like a couple months later, I'll actually like give it the attention, and it's always like, yeah, I fucking love this.
Sure. And Joe Rogan was part of it?
Joe Rogan was one of those things. He told me, he's like, oh, you got to listen to this.
Yeah.
And then I did, and I worked with him actually at the time.
Who?
My brother.
Okay.
I don't remember how the timeline works, but because he doesn't work there anymore, it was like this sign shop, kind of like labor work. So I would just listen to that all day while we're just like making these signs for these companies. But yeah, so I would just listen to a lot of podcasts, and I was like, I think it'd be fun. During COVID, I wasn't working, I was on unemployment, and I wanted to do content, kind of like we were talking earlier. I've been trying to do content, so I was like, let me try it this way. Honestly, I started a vlog right at the beginning of COVID, because I just right away was like, I think this is a big deal, and like,
what's a big deal?
COVID.
Okay. And
I think it would be cool to document, I guess, from other people's perspective. I thought it would work of like, if I started a vlog in LA of like what I'm doing during COVID.
Sure.
And being as an actor, is like, that's kind of how I was setting it up of like, this is what it's like out here. Just, I guess like anyone who watches like a Lifetime or a lifestyle vlog.
Yeah.
But I did like I didn't really know what I wanted to make of it, honestly. Now that I've done a lot more content, that's what it was. It's like I didn't really know what I wanted out of it, so I was just filming fucking everything. And then it was just like too much to be like, I don't know what to make of this, like how to cut these clips down.
Yeah.
And I did literally just 2 videos, 2 or 3. And I was like, I don't like this. I didn't like the editing of it. I was like, I don't like this. So then at that time, though, I also had the idea of doing the podcast. I was like, all right, I'm just going to stop doing this and try to do the podcast. And yeah, did that. Fucking loved it. I really like the podcast. I love doing this. It feels great to be back doing one. So
yeah,
thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course, dude. Yeah, the whole podcast thing from my perspective is I've had so many like cigar talks or just like talking with friends who I look up to, and I've learned so much, and I was like, oh, I wish I could go back on that conversation and like kind of replay it in my head. What did I learn? All this stuff. And I've got a lot of good feedback from the podcast. Like the hardest thing about content, especially long form or any form, is like consistency.
Absolutely. And
the one thing is like if you enjoy it and expect nothing from it, like you're winning.
Yeah.
You know, and I like it'd be dope if like anything that I make or produce does well. Yeah. But it'd also be dope like just to document it throughout my life, you know, and I've came to like a good like peace with that. And every conversation I feel like you can learn from anybody. And yeah, I started listening to Joe Rogan kind of religiously, probably like 5, 6, 7 years ago, like when he was still like not on Spotify and all this stuff. And like he even says too, like this is his like education. I've had like so many people on right now where like I've learned so much, and that it's basically my schooling of not necessarily LA, but just like life, because everyone has their own experience, does like a different job, and you're like, oh shit, like I might be interested in that. Yeah. But or you could learn from it and be like, oh, I'm not interested in that.
Yeah, that's the exact same reason I thought to start one. Of like, one I think it'd be cool, but I also think you can learn from fucking everybody, and I wanted to learn about what these people were doing who I was having on my show, and then also share that so other people can learn about it. And like I think what they're doing is cool, so I'm assuming someone else thinks what they're doing is cool, so they'd probably like to hear from this person who's starting a company or pursuing an acting career or a music career,
especially out in LA too. But you know how you said you were trying to document like people or like yourself, like living this life in COVID that is pursuing acting. That's like one of a few. Like not many people in the world to get to experience that or see it, and documenting it on a camera is kind of like, oh shit, if I want to do that, this is how this guy's doing it.
Yeah, and I still think it's a good idea. I just didn't like doing it, I guess.
Sure. Everyone has like their own like favoritism of like content. Like I really haven't liked audiobooks. I really like reading actual books, but some people love audiobooks. Some people love podcasts. Some people like watching vlogs. I rarely watch vlogs.
I don't watch vlogs either. I watch. See, I realized I think it's weird that I watch podcasts.
I watch podcasts.
Like I watch them talk. Like I will sit down.
It's weird.
I didn't realize that until recently. I don't remember who I was talking to.
Yeah.
And they're like, you actually watch it on YouTube? And I was like, yeah,
I watch podcasts.
That's how I watch them sit there and talk. I don't just listen to it. I don't know what it is. I like seeing them speak.
No, I think this is what I've come to the conclusion. I watch a podcast because you see them talk in front of you. It makes you feel like you're in the room. It makes you feel like you're part of the conversation. Yeah. And that feeling is kind of like undescribable. Like this conversation that we're having right now, whoever's listening to it or watching it personally from this camera, it's like, oh, I'm sitting with Cole and Nate right now. Yeah. I'm listening to their conversation. I'm part of it.
True.
You
That's
know?
a great point, yeah.
And like, especially if like they have headphones on or they're by themselves in the living room, like, oh shit, you know?
Mm-hmm. So the only time I would listen is when I was
driving.
When I was driving. But even then I would still use YouTube to like watch a little bit. To be watching, but
I mean with LA traffic it's very doable.
Yeah. Well, I haven't even done that here. Once I started making my own podcast though, I listened to less podcasts.
Sure.
I think I was just like, I don't know, too much podcast.
Yeah.
I listen to them less.
For
Like
sure.
Rogan, I definitely don't listen to nearly as much. I really don't honestly listen to too often. I'll still look because I use YouTube, so I don't really go on Spotify honestly. So I'll still watch his clips when they pop up, but he doesn't put as many clips on YouTube.
I mean, the clips are on Spotify though.
Are they on Spotify?
Yeah. So they literally, whatever his YouTube is on Spotify now.
He has literally just like video clips on Spotify.
No, he has the full video form on Spotify.
Yeah, I know. I guess I knew that, but not like
Yeah, the video clips are still on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just don't. I used to use Spotify, and then I was just curious about Apple Music, so I switched to Apple Music.
Yeah.
And since then I just haven't gone back to Spotify. I still like it, but I just don't use it, I guess. So it's just not in my
arsenal
habit of going on there. So I really don't listen to him quite as much. But I watch a lot of sports talk.
Mm-hmm.
Like I watch Colin Cowherd a lot.
I don't know who that is.
I watch. He's on FS1.
Okay.
It's crazy, dude. He does 3 hours every day of a sports show.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. I mean, it's really. I think he does like an hour and a half and kind of repeats it.
It's kind of impressive.
It starts at 9.
Yeah.
So it goes all the way through, but it's like, yeah, holy shit, every single day. And I watch a lot of.
You've been on your content grind for almost every day for 3 hours a day, right?
Yeah. True. Yeah. It has been.
So it's similar.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to do all this content right now? Correct me if I'm wrong. It's mostly investing, crypto, sometimes fitness.
A little. Honestly, I don't do fitness
too much
anymore. That's where it started. Right now, I'm doing crypto investing, mostly crypto and investing, NFTs. Like I was saying earlier, I want to dabble. Bring back in sports, business, music.
What made you do crypto investing?
What made me start making crypto content is like kind of what I was saying earlier. Once I get into something, like I just often find like, oh, I want to do this.
Yeah.
And so I went to school for finance. I have a finance degree, and then.
Oh no way! Really?
Yeah, and in that degree, which I didn't really use, but
yeah,
but I kind of am, I guess. The one thing I did take away from that was an investing class where we invested in stocks, and there was like this game, there was this website where it was a simulated stock market. So it was the real stock market, but obviously our money was fake money. And dude, I was hooked. I fucking loved that shit.
What did you learn from that class?
It's just that I love stocks. Like I love investing.
I know. What do you love about it though?
I don't know. I don't know if it's, I mean, I like making money, and it's like, I've never really honestly pondered like what so much about it I like, but I liked it a lot. I don't know. I was looking at it all day, all the time. It was almost like it's just an addiction type shit.
Sure.
It's not gambling, but obviously you can basically gamble in the stock market.
Yeah.
And it was just exciting. It was fun to me. I really enjoyed it. So that was really the one main thing I've taken away from the degree I got, because I didn't go into a corporate job. But content-wise, so I've been trying to do content since college.
Okay.
Once I was lifting, I wanted to do a lot of.
What was the reasoning for like getting into content though? Because like, I mean, it's not very. I guess like growing up, you're not like, oh, I want to be a content creator.
Honestly, I think.
I mean, a lot of kids nowadays that
now
is.
it is, but even just a few years ago, yeah, it wasn't quite the same. I liked fitness. Once I got into stopped playing sports and was like fitness was my sport.
Mm-hmm.
I pondered with like I flirted like I thought about doing like bodybuilding competitions, being like a fitness influencer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, all that stuff. It was just like I liked doing this, and I was following these other people, and I was like, oh, I can do this. But that's kind of what I was saying earlier. I was kind of doing TikTok videos, short clippy videos like that on Instagram before TikTok was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like there's a whole like, especially with fitness, like confidence thing of posting shit publicly.
Yeah.
You kind of look like a douchebag sometimes,
Yeah.
and you kind of look arrogant sometimes. And I was at my college wasn't very big, and no one ever like said anything, but I definitely felt.
You felt the animosity.
Just like I don't know if I made it up myself. Like I'm sure it was just like I felt like I was that guy who was posting a lot of like workout shit and with shirt off and stuff like that. And I'm sure people are like, "That's fucking stupid. Fuck this guy."
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that find value in it. That's why you do it.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to just provide. But that's what I was like. I wasn't just doing a workout and like being like, "Oh, here's me working out." I was like saying what I did to try to help other people, because it literally helped me.
Yeah,
like we were saying earlier, like physically and mentally. 100% mentally helped me.
Yeah,
a lot. But I struggled with consistency of doing it. I would do it for a little bit, and then I'd kind of get down about it, and then I'd stop. And then like when TikTok came around, I kind of started to do it on there. But again, it was like I started and then I stopped. And then when I started working at 45, I was like, okay, I'll do it here. Yeah. Started again, and I just couldn't be. I knew you needed to. But you're
pretty consistent with what you're doing right now with crypto and stocks.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, okay, I'm struggling to be consistent with this. Like, I need to do something else. Yeah. So what can I be consistent with? And I was doing some investing with stocks right when I ended college. Yeah. It didn't go so well. So then I kind of stopped. And then once COVID happened and the market was going crazy is when I got back into it again. So just like a year or two later. Yeah.
Do you think crypto is like has a future?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why?
I think it's
before you explain that, can you explain what? Because there's a lot of people out there, even though it's like mainstream now, like they don't understand cryptocurrency. Can you start from there? Like, what is cryptocurrency?
Cryptocurrency is literally, obviously, it's money online, but it's not just online. It's a decentralized. The whole point is to supposedly be decentralized. So
decentralized meaning
like the government's not controlling it. And I feel like it is kind of getting. There's so many of them that some are more decentralized than others. And that's like a benefit or a negative of why some maybe are more popular than others.
So the argument to that though is like a lot of people are using crypto, like especially Bitcoin and Ethereum, but they're still valuing it from the dollar.
Yeah, so that's what I think recently with like the market crashing, and the thing about Bitcoin is it was supposed to be like a hedge against say like the S&P or something like the stock market, and recently I think it's been more tied to it. It's been more consistent
it's been
with
following
it. So
with
that's
it.
been unusual, I think.
Like,
I mean, I haven't
the S&P 500 has dropped a lot in the last like 3 months, and crypto has dropped even more than that.
Yeah, see the crypto thing, I think it was following it, but crypto has just crashed because of the Lunar Crash.
I don't know what the Luna is.
So Luna is a crypto company. They had their own currency, Luna coin, or I forget what it's fucking called, but Luna was the crypto. That's what you'd buy. That was like the ticker. And then they also had a stable coin. So they were pegged to the dollar.
Okay.
The stable coin system of Luna, actually, you could peg, I believe, to any currency around the world. I think they just had to start doing it, honestly, like have a demand for it. I forget. I did a video on it, but I'm not an expert on it by any sense. But so they had a stable coin. So these stable coins, and there's a couple of them, and they're all a little bit different, but they're supposed to be pegged to the dollar for the U.S. in the U.S. So it's 1-to-1. So it's a way to like put your money that's supposed to be safe. And that just crashed. Like it's algorithmically tied to their Luna coin, where they would do arbitrage back and forth to keep the stable coin pegged at a dollar. And the rumor is, I don't think it's proven fact, but I've seen a lot of people talking about it, is that BlackRock, like the largest fucking investment bank in the world, they have like $20 trillion of assets
I have no clue.
that they manage.
BlackRock?
BlackRock.
Okay.
Apparently, like basically attacked Luna. They reached out. Again, I'm not an expert on this, so I might be butchering it, but somehow they borrowed a bunch of Bitcoin, I think from like Gemini, which is another exchange platform. Took that Bitcoin, reached out to the CEO of Luna to exchange it for the cheap with UST, and somehow they fucking just basically crashed UST. So like, yeah, I'm butchering the shit out of this right now,
but that's the general sense of what happened.
Yeah, and then so the market was already going down, but then now there's a bunch of fear because this stablecoin that was thought to be like one of the best. It was a top 10 crypto. Luna, or the UST.
Yeah,
Luna's the other one. Luna's not a stablecoin, but they were like paired together. Just crashed. It went and it made people a fuck ton of money within the last couple of years, or like year or two, because it was a couple cents and it went all the way up to $100.
Oh shit.
Luna did, not UST.
That's wild. Really?
Yeah. So then now Luna literally just went from like $100 to, I don't know what it's at right now, but the other day it was less than 1 cent.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy that can happen, because like,
so there's fear because people are like, what the fuck? This was supposed to be like perfect. This was supposed to be solid.
It's weird the last 3 years too, because like you could buy a Dogecoin or a Shiba Inu or a Luna and like literally change your life.
Yeah.
In a matter of weeks.
Yeah. Luna did that for people. Like, there's people I follow who are, crypto influencers or whatever, constantly talking about it, build up their own presence on social media about talking about it and just whatever. And that's one I would see get mentioned a lot, where people, if they bought it early, it was a couple cents or less than a cent. And in the last like 12 months, it went all the way up to $100.
Jeez.
So like an insane amount of gain. And
that's
so
insane.
If you got out of it, you like literally made some people, I think, millionaires. But it was valuable because it was seamless transactions. I forget what it was, the UST, but like, so you could interact with, currencies from around the world instead of going through like there's just time it takes to exchange, say, the British pound and a US dollar. And I think what they were doing was making it like seamless, and it was a lot easier. And how they were working it with the Luna coin and the stable coin of like, it would constantly keep the stable coin stable, pegged at $1, and somehow it just got fucked up.
And do you think that's the reasoning for like the whole like crypto crash? Because everyone has like this fear.
Yeah.
Because like the whole stock market basically is like, it goes up and down based on people's fear.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a perfect storm right now, because there's all like the Federal Reserve shit. There's the recession, like lingering talk.
Yeah.
So I think the markets were already kind of going down.
Also, I don't think
this just happened like 3 or 4 days ago. So then that just like.
Oh, that's recent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, I think, a big reason of why. Like, it was already going down, but it crashed. Like, Bitcoin's down right now over, it was almost $70,000 a couple months ago.
And what is it right now? 30?
It's been flirting with, I think it bounced at 26 and going up to like 30.
Yeah.
So it's down more than 50%, which is a lot.
That is a lot. Yeah, dude. So are you going to continue with, like, obviously you find crypto and investing, like, interesting because you do it.
Yeah. So
is this all, my question ultimately is, like, is this all leading to something bigger? Because ultimately, like, it's like acting, right?
I don't know anymore.
You don't know anymore. Why is that?
Because I really like content creation. It's way more. I'm always going to be open to acting. That's something that I'm just like, especially living in LA, I think is always at least a little bit of a possibility. Yeah. And I'm still doing commercial. I have a commercial agent, so I'm auditioning for commercials regularly, which is awesome. But compared to, like the first couple of years I was here, when I moved here, it was like, I want to be an actor. That's what I wanted, 100%. And the content creation thing, I really like that. It's just you're more in control of your life. Like it's me.
I mean, you get to do what you want to do.
You get to do what you want to do. And now that I'm doing it where it's just me versus say like this podcast, the reason I stopped doing my podcast is because I kind of ran into scheduling conflicts where I had like 3 people cancel on me. And then I started at 45 and I kind of like, my schedule changed. I just didn't have quite as much time. And it was like, I was totally in a groove of doing one a week for a couple months. And then it just kind of stopped. And it was like, okay, I need to do something that is just up to me kind of by myself.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
mean,
just like
I feel
my
like
work ethic. Am I going to do it or not?
Yeah. I feel like the hardest thing with podcasts is like, it doesn't just depend on you. It depends on like another person coming.
Yeah. If you're doing a guest one, right? So that's why I was like, okay, I like the content thing. And then kind of what we've talked about, I've tried multiple different things of like fitness and then like the vlog and the podcast. So I was like, I just need to do something that I can be consistent with. And
that it's like only on you.
It's only on me. And it's kind of I was saying, it's literally just my work ethic. Like, am I going to do a video today or not? That's what it comes down to. And so, I was investing a lot with the stock market. I was day trading and swing trading. And then once I got into crypto. Can you define
swing trading real quick?
So like day trading, of course, is like
buy and sell stock same day.
Yeah, you're not holding a position overnight, and it could be like minutes or even seconds, or a few minutes of like you buy something and then it changes and you're trying to make money off the change in price. Swing trading is just a longer timeline of like at least a week, maybe two. I don't know exactly if there's a specific designation, but maybe 8 weeks. I would hold mine for probably anywhere from like 2 weeks to 2 months.
Okay, so it's like similar to day trading, but you're just holding it for longer periods of time.
Yeah, so I'm just what I would do is just try to look for trends, honestly, and I did well at this because the market was crazy during the pandemic.
Yeah, it was insane.
Of like just looking for trends in stocks and buy at one price, and I think it's gonna, go up. It's really simple. I would look at a lot of like support and resistance shit. If a stock kind of keeps bouncing, so I just did a video on this the other day of like support and resistance is really simple. If there's a price that a stock keeps falling to and it gets to that price and then it goes up, that's like the support. It won't go lower than that price, and it's just for a designated period of time. It's not like chosen, but it's like, in the last month, this stock won't go below $10. So that's acting as the support. And there's support and resistance for different time periods too. So you could do it in swing trading. So you could look at, the month, there's a support where in this single day, in the last hour, there's a support too of like, right now the stock won't go below this price. And the same with the resistance. It's just the high point. The stock won't go above this price. So literally in that sense, a strategy would be just to buy the stock at or near the support price. Say it's $10. You could buy it from anywhere from $10.50 to like, it might fall through a little bit, $9.75, and then just see if it goes back up.
Yeah, depending on the trend, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And obviously, of course, you want to have a stop loss, and there's ways to mitigate your risk. But, and I had success with that, like not just that strategy, but doing that during COVID, and then I don't know, like I think being on Robinhood, I think it was the Dogecoin shit, because Dogecoin. exploded with like. Did you follow any like the Wall Street bets?
Yeah,
Stuff?
I followed. My buddy bought Dogecoin like 7 years ago.
Perfect. Did he hold it?
He didn't hold it after the second drop. So like because he did the calculations.
Yeah.
And if he held on to it and he sold at the peak, he would be worth like 3-4 mil.
Yeah.
He sold it. He made like I think a few $1,000 profit before it like skyrocketed.
Damn.
And he never told his girl about it because he has a baby now and like he's about to get married. And he was like, "Bro, this if I just hold it on for like literally 2 months, it would have changed my life." Seriously. And it's weird that happens with like all these Wall Street bets or like these meme stocks.
Yeah.
Like Elon Musk posts a picture of a dog, and some people's lives change entirely for their entire life.
It's a new thing too. I think like momentum. Again, I'm obviously not very old, but like in the stock market, I think like momentum's obviously a thing.
Yeah.
And like hype has been a thing, but just with social media and then like Twitter, and like during COVID, like everyone with Wall Street bets and Dogecoin, like just being involved in like the stock market became like a thing that everyone was trying to do.
Yeah.
And so like there was.
I think it brought a lot of people into the younger generation too, with Robinhood and like everything like that. Yeah.
And I think it's great, and it was just like there was so much attention to it that it was almost a new thing where there was no real reason of why Doge went crazy.
There's no reason.
There was no real
the only reason
other than like people
Reddit,
thought it was cool.
Yeah.
And like people. I'm sure people lost a lot of money and people made a fuck ton of money too. Like, just because people were like, "Oh, this is like trending."
That's
like,
really it.
And that to people who I think are like, I don't know if you'd want to say like purist or like traditional investors, they hate that.
They hate it.
Like that's so fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Like I have some friends who obviously they're being dramatic and they're joking, but they're just like, "Don't even talk to me about that shit. Like if you invest in that, it's stupid." And it's like, I get that. It is really stupid, but it's a real thing.
It is.
Like if you can figure out kind of like the trend of how the hype happens, but you can, it's like any other thing. You can make money from it.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, the Doge thing, I didn't lose millions, but I kind of got fucked on it too because.
You held too long?
No, I was trying to do, what happened is, so I was on Robinhood for about a year or two, and I just had a cash account. So basically, I was just investing with the money I had. And then I opened a margin account, or I changed it to a margin account, which is basically you kind of get loaned money. So you can invest with that. So it's more risky because if you lose it, you have to pay them back and you lose your loss. But I had that. I wanted to switch to that. And like 2 weeks after I switched to a margin account is when I thought, okay, Doge went from, it was like less than a cent, and Doge went up to a couple cents and then went up to like 8 cents, which is like a crazy jump. I was like, okay, because kind of like the markers of like say 10 cents was, I knew that was going to be like a resistance level. Like $1 is a resistance level.
Sure.
If it's never been there. Like 50 cents. It's kind of like those halfway points. Those like, I don't know what you'd call them, but like going from 0 cents to 10 cents is going to be like, is it going to break 10 cents or not? It's just like that's kind of like the mentality side of investing, or like the mental side of it, that just people have. So long story short, I knew it was going to struggle at 10, and I thought it would come back down, and it did that. And I put in a limit order to buy $600 of Doge at 2.5 cents. And it was the last stimulus check that we got. That's what I was going to put into it. And it happened in a limit order. Do you know what a limit order is?
Yeah.
So I went to sleep.
You want to explain what it is?
So a limit order is just, you can set a price and how much money you want to spend, and so
it's going to automatically
set those settings,
buy at that price.
And if the stock hits that price, it'll automatically buy it. You can do the same for selling. If a stock hits a certain price, it'll automatically sell it for you. So you don't have to be watching it the whole time. Yeah. So I went to sleep overnight, and it fell below. I did like a 2.5 cent limit order. It fell to like 2.3 cents. And
so it never hit 2.
It never hit 2, but I had it at 2.5 cents. So it should have triggered.
Yeah.
And it didn't. It didn't trigger, and so I had to figure out why. And I figured out because I had just changed my account to a margin account.
Oh shit.
And I was already using like $2,000 of margin. So not even that much. But the money, the $600 I deposited, apparently immediately like allocated to
the margin.
And you can't use margin to buy crypto on Robinhood.
Yeah.
Like, at least at that time. I don't know if you can now. So it just didn't allow me to do it.
Yeah.
Because basically I didn't have actual money that was mine to do it.
In there.
Because I put it to the margin
account. And
I was like, okay, fuck, whatever. And I think it jumped back up to like 5. And I didn't know if it would go much higher. I wanted it at 2. That's where I felt like I would have potential to make money. And then within like the next 6 to 8 weeks is when it went up to 80 cents.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was so pissed.
I would have been too. That's a lot of money. That's like.
It was.
That'd have gone to like what, 30K?
I think it was just under 20.
Yeah.
So I would have turned. I did a video about it. I think it would have been like I would have turned $600 into like 17, almost 18 grand.
Okay.
In like 2 months. And it was like at the time. I mean, still now. Like that would be.
That's a lot of money.
I was trying to build up my account.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, and I was like, that would have totally changed where I was with my account.
Yeah.
And then the same thing happened with Shiba in a different way. Because, and this is where it's like, I think I can see trends in this sense of like, where I think people think this meme shit's stupid. And I think it's stupid, but it doesn't mean it's not happening. Like, it is happening.
I mean, it's real. It's a thing. Yeah.
Like, it's happening. I don't know why it's happening, but it is. And so
do you follow Reddit at all?
Not too much.
Because a lot of people on Reddit just like go ham on that shit. They agree like, hey, everyone's buying Dogecoin at this day, at this price, at this time, and we're going.
Yeah, the Wall Street bets got me into Reddit a little bit, but I didn't like keep up with it. And I haven't for a while. But with Shiba, I was like, there's no way. Because on Reddit, actually, I was looking at the time. Everyone was like, oh, I missed out on Doge. I missed out on Doge. Yeah. So I was like, this is going to happen again. Like, everyone is looking for another a meme coin to not miss out on. So then, I don't know, a few months later, I was looking at, and I thought Shiba would be the one. Because it was already kind of, I think, like the next one that was getting mentioned. But it was still very, very low. And it's like, okay, perfect. And it had already, like, had a big pump, and then it had come down. And was kind of hanging out, but just slowly coming up. And I was like, okay, that's a good sign because it's found its bottom. It's been there for a while, and it's just slowly coming up. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy this one. And I was looking at it. I kind of got greedy. Like, this is like, again, like investing is so much of a mental game of like patience, not being greedy.
It's emotional,
not allowing
bro.
yourself, not
emotional.
Allowing yourself to freak out or
patience. Yeah.
And so I was looking at it every day for like 2 or 3 weeks, and I just wanted it to drop a little bit more. Yeah. Like a little bit more, and it literally was. I mean, it was like 0.000000016, and I wanted to get it to like 0.000000015. Whatever it was, because it touched that. So I was looking at it every single day and not buying it. And I was about to buy it, and then fucking Elon Musk tweeted about it.
Oh shit! And then it skyrocketed. Blew
the fuck up, and
there's not many. Yeah, I would be frustrated too.
What the hell, dude?
There's not many. There's not many meme stocks out there right now. Like, no one's really been tweeting about it or anything. Elon's too busy buying Twitter. You know.
I think. Yeah. Right. I think now the hype of it's kind of gone. I think it'll happen again, but probably not to the degree. I think everyone, it was like a new thing. So it was like, oh, what is this? And then it was like new and exciting, almost like betting. Yeah. But now everyone kind of knows, like everyone was thinking, oh, Shiba's going to go to $1. Yeah. It's not even close. Even Doge struggles. I mean, the whole market's struggling.
Do you follow what's his name? The Dogecoin millionaire at all? Did you hear about him? So he basically invested early in Doge, and his account went to well over $1 million. Yeah. He invested his like whole life savings into it. And he didn't sell, but like it literally could have changed his life. And now he held on to it, and now he doesn't have any money, right? And this is literally like he drove, I think, like a Volkswagen Bug, worked at like some hardware store. I don't know if that's exactly correct or anything, but this money could have changed his life at the time, and he just believed that was gonna hit $1, never did, and
It was close.
It was close.
But it didn't stay there.
Yeah, and it's just weird because like he could have like cashed out, and like this guy, this Joe Schmo guy who drove a shitty car, and whatever, had faith in this coin going up, and it went up a lot.
Yeah.
He made over 800K on it overnight, or like in a few weeks.
He could have, but he didn't sell it, right?
He didn't sell it.
Yeah. And it's Doge is interesting because Elon likes it so much, and obviously he's like the richest fucking man in the world.
Yeah.
So like he could buy it and do something with it. Yeah. That's kind of what he's talking. I don't think he's talked about buying it, but he's talked about how like it was made as a joke, but it's actually a good.
So what's the benefit in crypto? Because a lot of people believe that you don't own anything because there's no asset to it. You're not owning a specific stock. Obviously, you're just owning fake money. That's the argument. What's your response to that?
How did they think it's, I guess, like fake? Like because it's just like the internet money shit.
Well, okay,
like
so you're using dollars to buy this cryptocurrency, right? Yeah. And it's only valuable to people who accept that as money. So for example, Mark Cuban is accepting cryptocurrency as a form of payment for I forgot exactly what, but he's accepting it.
I think the tickets to the Mavs game.
Tickets to the Mavs game, yeah. Dope, cool, awesome. But that's one out of how many transactions do you have a day? And for me, it's 100% dollars, right? So a lot of people are like, yo, like, sure, one or two people are using this as an acceptable form of payment, but like, it's not worth anything to most people, which is true.
I think it's still so new, and I think it's not gonna go away. That's what I think. It's It's gonna get regulated. That's coming. Mm-hmm. So I think that'll change.
Because right now you don't need to pay taxes on it, right?
You do, but I think they just don't. I think they're figuring out how to.
Okay.
So like, I don't know. I see conflicting information on that of like, you should report it if you don't. I did, personally I did because I didn't want to. It's like kind of thing where like down the line they're probably gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
If they don't at the moment, so then you might get in trouble. I don't know.
Sure.
I'm sure there's ways to
I got friends though who like make a few $1,000s on Robinhood every year. They never report it in their files.
Yeah. Like,
and I was like, really?
I mean, it's fine until
it's not.
Yeah, exactly. So there's not like I think like that's the exact way. I literally think I'm pretty sure all like government groups, I don't know what you would call it, like the DOJ or like say the Federal Reserve, or actually I don't think they're government, but they're all right now. Biden a few months ago, I think, when he was talking about regulation, has said like you have like a year to put together a plan. I want to hear from everybody how you think we should handle crypto. Yeah. And so that's in the works. I think that's going to be a big deal, but I just don't think it's going away. It's already been here. It's only gotten bigger. So I don't know why you'd think it's going to.
It's getting bigger every year.
Every year, it's just gotten bigger and bigger. And
NFTs are exploding.
And there's actually like legitimate technology behind it. Yeah. So like some of them meme coins are just dumb fucking coins. Yeah, they mean nothing. But then there's others that actually have like
some value,
absolute value. Like there's one, I think it's Vcoin. I believe it's Vcoin where they're making, it's like a QR code, I think, and you can put it on products. And so for like shipping and like logistics, again, I'm not an expert on it, you can track better. It's like it'd be a more accurate and easy way to track all these products, like all shipping, all logistics of like, especially like food, like temperatures, making sure that it stayed at a healthy temperature so it didn't go bad during its transportation. And it's like that could be used for everything.
Yeah, I mean, NFTs and stuff for absolute value, like a lot of people have found absolute value in it. For example, what's it called? Something Ape?
Bored Ape.
Bored Ape. Like that gives you access to like a certain club, like a yacht club, you know? Like it's a dope photo or a picture. And like, for example, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm gonna make an NFT of a photo. Like, cool, but like, what is that value? What is that access into? Like, there's this guy who does jujitsu, right? And he has an NFT for his students. If you buy this NFT, you have access to all these classes through this NFT. It gives you this access on the blockchain, and it shows you that you actually own it, because like, you take a photo of it, you don't own it, right? You can't prove that you own it. There's a code to every single picture that people don't understand. You know?
Yeah, NFT, see, that's what, there's so many things, like, it's so vast now. So there's cryptocurrencies, there's NFT, there's the metaverse, which is like being valued as like multi-trillion-dollar opportunity because of like gaming.
Facebook, right? That's Facebook.
They changed their name to Meta, so they definitely want you to think that, but they don't own the metaverse. Like, there's multiple metaverses. So like, there's the Sandbox, which I believe Snoop Dogg created, which is crazy. Or like, he's
Snoop's in everything, bro. It's kind of crazy.
Like, he didn't obviously create it, but like, he's the backing of it.
The dude has wine in Trader Joe's now.
He owns Trader Joe's?
No, he has wine.
Oh, wine in,
Wine in Trader Joe's.
Yeah. There's DeFi. There's, I don't know what I said, Web3, metaverse, cryptocurrency, DeFi. Like, there's all these like categories, and then within those categories, there's gaming. There's decentralized gaming that's coming too. With like, and then there's a bunch of categories in all those categories. Like, it's fucking huge. And NFTs are just one thing. And even within NFTs, there's different types of NFTs. Like, I don't think there's like designations for them yet. I just kind of made a video about this too. Like, it's not like these ones are called this and these ones are called this, but there's NFTs, which everyone kind of thinks about, which are just, they're just a photo. And they're like art, where like, some people think they're cool, some people think they're not. And if they're
but
cool
the thing
enough,
is, like, people find value in owning something. So like, why does someone buy a piece of just regular art? It's because they find value in it, because it's rare, it's whatever, and
it's one of a kind.
It's one of a kind. But there's, I guarantee you, plenty of replicas out there that a lot of people have.
Well, you can print it off the internet.
You can print it out. You could post it on your wall. But this person has the original copy. But can you prove that? Yeah, you can from all this stuff. But like, to someone who has a copy on the wall, they're just like, oh, that's the original.
But even paperwork, like, you can forge paperwork.
100%.
There's a whole freaking.
But an NFT, you could prove that it's the original one. 1,000%.
So that's absolutely, like, in terms of like art and like collectible items, like a draw, and people struggle to understand that when it's like, that's how art's been. Like, I'm not a big art collector or anything, but that's how that's been forever. It's like, it's just millions of dollars because it's either by this artist or because it's rare and by this artist. Like. And it's the one. It's not like a copy, a replica, a printing.
It's weird how so many people find value in things that
aren't valuable.
I mean, I didn't want to say that, but accurately, that's so true. Because like, you only find value in it because a lot of other people think it's cool, and like, that's similar to stocks, dude.
And that's why, obviously, like, Gary Vee's been a big pusher of NFTs. And that's why I think he's great at just seeing trends. And like, a point here, I remember him always making of exactly that. If you have a really nice house, you're a successful person, and you buy $1 million painting, like, when people come over, you want to mention that painting. Like, look at that painting, but that's in your house. Only the people who come to your house see that. Whereas in social media now, if you have the coolest Bored Ape, you can just post it on, you can have it on all your things. And like, instead of showing just the people in your house, anyone who ever sees your account knows you own that thing that's really rare and think you're cool about it. And it's just like how people are. It's how they've been with art.
It's like, who has the biggest dick?
Literally. And it's like, but again, that's what I'm getting at, is that's only one. So that's one.
That's only one aspect of like all crypto.
Of just NFTs. Because then there is NFTs like Gary Vee's VeeFriends, where they have, like you're saying, your guy who, it gives you access to these classes. Like, there's a real use for it. It's not just the art is cool. Like, if you own it,
you have access to,
you have access to, with VeeFriends Series 1, you get to go to VCon for like 3 years. So it's like a ticket to an event that's going to be really fucking cool. Or Bored Ape Yacht Club, you have access to these meetings where, just because the NFT got really popular, all these successful people own it. So they might be there, and you might be able to network with celebrities or famous athletes. Like, there's a real benefit to having it, and other than just that you think it looks cool. and real world utility. In a great way, I was talking to this older guy who actually works with F45 as well. He's like our sales guy, our membership guy. And we were talking about it one day, and he was kind of like, I get crypto, but I'm just kind of too old for it. It's not really my time. And I was like, I totally understand that. But he's like, I don't really get NFTs. I think I was just asking, like, why don't you get about it? And somehow it came to the fact that, like, oh yeah, it's like collectible. It's kind of like sports cards. Of like, you collect your favorite sports cards. Sports cards can be valuable. They can be tens of thousands, if not like hundreds. I think there are even sports cards like millions of dollars now.
Yeah.
And he was like, but I just don't get the money yet. Like, why is it worth that much? And I was just like, sports card is a good example. And then, so these NFTs that have utility, think about if you could buy your favorite sports card of your favorite player, but not only do you have his card now, which is worth a lot of money, but now you get to meet him and go have lunch with him for an hour or have dinner with him just because you own that card. Like, that would be the utility
behind it
of that card. So not only is it valuable because it's cool and people like them to collect them and all that, but actually you get to meet this guy.
Yeah.
Like, that makes it even that much more valuable.
Sure.
And whoever owns it gets to do that.
What do you say?
He's kind of like, oh, I don't know. He didn't really keep talking about it. He was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's just like a hard thing to believe in because
it's so new and weird.
It's so new and very weird. Yeah, it's very weird that these like pictures objectively online that have a code give you access to certain things that like wouldn't make sense in 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, crypto's obviously been around Bitcoin's been around for like a decade or something, but yeah, NFTs are just pretty. I mean,
2-3 years.
Bitcoin's new, yeah. NFTs are just a couple years old, and they're like exploded, and that's kind of the whole point of like. I think crypto absolutely has a future because it just keeps becoming more and more
relevant.
It just keeps coming. Like, it's. It's like technology, dude. It's literally technology doesn't stop. Technology keeps advancing. Yeah. And like Musk talks about it in a podcast, how he's like. He himself, the leader of all these like technological advances, has tried to like slow down AI because of like the scary pace it's becoming like more and more and more advanced.
It's hard to keep up with because like I feel like where I'm at right now with like what I'm doing is very technological, but I also feel like way behind. Like, I know what you're talking about in terms of cryptocurrency, but I don't really understand it to the depth of like of truly understanding it. Like, you know how you talk about it to your client or to the guy at F45, like I'm kind of that guy at most times, but I understand it to a certain point, you know?
There's so much, and there's like there's so much to learn. That's kind of what, like, all those topics. You could spend hours learning just about crypto, hours learning just about NFTs, hours learning about just the metaverse and just DeFi and like.
What do you recommend for people to who have no clue anything about NFTs or crypto? Like, where should they start?
I think you should start. I mean, you could start. I think it's just time, and either going to. So I keep saying this. Just made a video about this, but so coinmarketcap.com is a very popular just page. You can go to. You see all the prices. You can click on a cryptocurrency. And there's almost 20,000 cryptocurrency now.
Yeah.
I think I just looked.
That's a lot.
The other day, and there's 19-something thousand, which, crazy. So obviously not all those are going to be successful. But you can go on there and just click on them, and it gives you, like, information about it. It gives you a summary. It'll tell you, like, what's unique about it. So you can just, like, learn a little bit about this cryptocurrency, what the project is, what they're doing, why it's actually valuable. And then obviously there's going to be words in there that you probably don't know. So just, like, Google those words and figure out what those are. That's one way to go. You could literally just start watching YouTube videos. There's a bunch of content creators who make content about crypto to learn because it's still so new. That's what I'm doing on all the short form TikTok and Reels and YouTube. Yeah. I'm just trying to trying to inspire people to learn, really.
Like, is that what motivated you to do that?
What?
Inspire other people to learn? Like, why are you so I don't know the words passionate, but motivated to create all these forms of content?
Because I think I think it's a financially like revolutionary opportunity.
How so?
I like kind of like what we're saying, where it's just becoming more and more prevalent in our society, and I don't think it's gonna go away. I really don't think it's gonna go away. I think it's just gonna be bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's just continue to grow. And so, like as an investment opportunity, if you could get in on those things at the beginning, like that'd be crazy.
Yeah,
it's a crazy
it's
opportunity.
like it's
like
like
right in front of you.
Yeah,
And you just need to learn a little bit about it. I mean, think about the way it's being compared to right now a lot is like
just content creating. Is that what you're talking about?
no, like crypto right now is being compared to the internet, where of course we were really young, so we don't really remember, but like the .com bubble, where when the internet first came around and first became popular, like it exploded with all these companies that were like that were valued at like billions of dollars, but they really weren't doing anything. They were just like a website, and there was like potential there. And then once like there was a crash because they weren't actually doing anything, they weren't profitable, and all these companies failed. But the internet didn't go away. Like Amazon came out of that, Facebook came out of that, Google came out of that. So like there was all this hype, and it just wasn't quite there yet, and it just fell away. But yeah, that didn't eliminate the internet. The internet was still a revolutionary, globally life-changing thing. Still is. It just kind of got too much hype, and then it crashed. But it's still this insane opportunity if you would have bought Amazon or Google or Facebook
at like a few dollars
when it first started. Yeah. And you would have made it would have went up in value, and then it would have crashed, and you could have been like, oh, this is worthless. But from that point forward, now it would have been an insane amount of money.
Insane. Yeah.
And I think that's this, like kind of what I was just saying. There's 19-some thousand crypto. They're obviously not all. Most
profitable.
of them are not gonna succeed. But if you can get into the ones that will and that do, which obviously there's obviously risk involved.
Sure.
Absolutely risk involved. But I guess I'm kind of like I'd rather try.
Yeah.
Than not.
Yeah, try
than not.
Yeah,
and if it doesn't work out,
it's inspiring too, because like especially for me, like hearing it from like someone else who's similar in their journey in creating things.
Yeah.
It's it's like because you've seen the success, especially in LA.
Yeah.
Of
everywhere.
Like in creating content or anything like that, or making some value to someone, but it's just like, from the way our parents raised us or the way the society that we grew up in, it's not normal, and it's not common, but let alone, for example, I give this example to like a lot of people, like my grandparents, they probably never want their grandkids to be an actor, but they watch TV and movies every single day.
Every day.
Right.
They love those people.
And they
love their favorite actors.
They love their favorite actors. They live their favorite sport. They don't want you to pursue like when I was trying to pursue professional golf, they were like always like, okay, like whatever you want to do. But they watch golf and they watch sports all the time. And it's just kind of ironic, because like these things that you're getting pleasure from, these things that you are looking up to people from, it's so far gone that you don't believe or don't think it's possible for someone in your circle to do that.
Yeah. And that's obviously, you think how I think, where I think the opposite, where it's like they're just a person, they're just a guy, they're just a woman who's worked probably really, really hard most of the time. Sometimes they may have just gotten lucky, and they started out just like you did, somewhere where one day they started doing that thing, and that kind of goes along with, I don't know what it is about me that when I start to notice I'm spending a lot of time on something, say like watching content or watching podcasts, it's like, oh, I want to do that. I want to be those people. Yeah. And I think it's possible. So it's like, well, let me start.
Yeah. Do you know who,
and I think anyone can do that, by the way. I'm not trying to just be like, oh, it's just me. Like, I really think anyone can. Most things. There's obviously things that are like age required. You have to be a certain age when you start, or you can't do it until a certain
also
age.
Genetics too. Like, for example, like I will never be in the NBA no matter how hard I try, just because I'm 5'7.5",
Yep.
and I'm 5'7.5".
Like, and that's where we're stopping. Yeah, like that. But like, okay, so that's one of a few things you probably can't do because of physical limitations.
Yeah.
And just like what you were born, the body you were born with. But
Yeah.
but most things, like I think for you and anybody, you can become.
Yeah, it's really hard work and consistency, because like what you were talking about too, like consistency is the hardest part with anything.
Yeah.
And like the only thing that's consistent in my life that you've like hinted on is like physical fitness. But I mean, for you and I too, like that has changed your life for the better tenfold, 20-fold, you know, and we've seen that result. And why can't you apply that same work ethic, that same consistency to anything else in your life?
And I do that. I'm sure you do the same thing of like, okay, at this point in my time when I was 17 or 18, I actually was working out like on my own and trying to gain weight. I had done it for the last 7 years before that.
Yeah.
But because I was forced to do it, I didn't really want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really giving effort into it. And then once I did actually give like real effort to it and did it on my own, and did it consistently, I changed my body physically.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, yeah, where else can I do that?
Yeah.
And I think you can kind of do that anywhere, where it's like you need to just
what do you think?
Put in the energy to learn about that thing, to become that thing, whatever it is you want to become. That
resistance though to like actually get good at it though. For example, I'm hitting this bump in the road for like the bitters company where I needed to get a lot of like legalization stuff for government or FDA approval, all this stuff, and like anything they consume is very hard to get approved. And I'm just like, fuck this, like I don't really want to do it anymore. But like that's just like one hard bump in the road, or like for anything. And it just trying to get over it's like, I don't know, when you work out really hard for the first 1 month, you see progress, and then like you hit a plateau and you don't see any fucking progress. And what's going on? Like that's kind of where a lot of people like stop. And they're like, okay, I'm done. And I don't know, what's your advice on like getting through that bump, because there's so many people, I'm experiencing it myself in some things, to like just keep going because so many people stop.
It's a tough question. I think it's going to be different for everybody, but I think that those are the moments where you have to like really think, do you want this? Why do you want it? Look how far you've come. That's what happens to me a lot. It's like, okay, even if something's not going well, and then you look back and you're like, oh, I've grown a lot. Like I've progressed in this a lot. And honestly, too, for me, because I've tried to do a lot of different things, I have experience in trying to do something new, taking a lot of time learning about it, say podcasting, and at the moment being like, this isn't working, it's not going super well, like it's not going terrible, it's not going super well, it's a lot of work, yada yada, I don't know if this and that, and then I've stopped, and then I look back and think, dude, you were doing way fucking better than you thought you were at that moment. And that's happened to me again with lifting. Like if I have like a goal of like, I want to gain this much weight, or I want to lift this much weight on a bench press, I always have kind of been like, you know, you could be doing better. And then like 6 months from then, I'll be thinking back like, dude, you were fucking strong as shit. You can't do that now. Like what you were doing back then.
100%. I get that all the time.
And I always just think like, you need to, like, you're doing way better than you think you were. And I guess that's happened to me multiple times. So I try to remember that in that moment, that I'm probably doing a lot better than, I'm just hard on myself in this moment. And even though I'm not where I want to be, just keep going. And I guess in things, I just personally, and I think other people should too, have a belief it's possible. Like, it's going to be a struggle.
I feel like it's easy to get down on yourself too.
Super easy.
Because, I don't know, ever since I changed my perspective on like life in terms of like happiness and achievement, I defined it like success as doing what you want to do when you want to do it with the people who you want to do it with.
Yeah.
And if you could afford to, I don't know, at least make $60K a year and provide for rent and food on your table and a roof over your head, like you should be really fucking happy.
Yeah, imagine, like, I'm with you. I think that's partly why, like, I would still like to have success in acting, but that's kind of why I'm getting more drawn to content. It's like, I feel like I have more control of, like, I can do what I want, where I want, when I want, how much of it I want.
Yeah. In terms of work too, because like I feel like acting, it's so dependent on, oh yeah, I got this audition, but I also have 10 auditions next month, but I only got one audition this month. So I'm working really, really, really hard for this month on my ass, but I was only given the opportunity of one audition this month.
Well, that and there's like the barrier of the person, the casting director, if they like you or not, and like why they do or they don't. It could be the dumbest thing in the world of like,
yeah,
you have blonde hair or brown hair, or you look like someone they know.
I didn't really know.
Like.
I really didn't know typecasting was a thing until like talked to my girlfriend's a dancer, and like a lot of people at F45 in West Hollywood and Studio City are dancers. They're like, yeah, dude, if they don't like the way you look, no matter how good of a dancer you are, you're not getting hired for the job.
Bro, it doesn't. I just talked to there's a woman at F45 Santa Monica who I just figured out was an actress. She's an older lady too. I would guess in her late 50s. And so we were talking about it, and she was like, yeah, we just had a whole conversation of like, I've known, because she was saying, I at one time I was working for casting directors on that side of it, being like a reader for auditions and this and that. And so she got to see and hear their conversations about after the auditions, and she's like, yeah, it's literally just like, it's just that. It's, oh, this person looks like my ex, we're not hiring them, I don't like them. Oh, this person has...
really? Like that?
Their skin's too dark, or their skin's too light, or they have blue eyes, or they have brown eyes, or they're just like, it doesn't matter. Like, you have to be good, but then once you're good, then you have to also fit this like perfect image of what the artist or the person who's creating, the producer, the director wants of the person in that role. Yeah,
it's a timing thing too, especially if they like you or not. Like, I went home for a wedding in my hometown last week, and I was talking to these guys. All of them I used to play golf with, and they're all really fucking good.
Like, I didn't know you were trying to be a pro golfer.
Yeah, I had a wrist injury that I still suffer with to this day, and I got recruited for a couple schools, and then I pursued it in community college, realized I wasn't gonna become a pro golfer, and then I just focused on school, got into UCLA, and that's how I ended up here. Nice. And then I lost like 30 pounds, and then I was like, hey, you want to be a personal trainer? In my head, I was like, if you could make other people feel the way you feel about yourself right now, that would be game changing.
So that's why you got into it?
Yeah, that's why I got into fitness. But back to my story about I went home, talked to these golfers, and they basically said, like, an old golf friend of mine was talking about this guy who's still pursuing professional golf, and he was like, yo, this guy is just as good as anybody on tour right now, but he has to play just as good as them at the right moment, at the right place, at the right time, and then he gets that barrier to entry into the PGA Tour. And that's similar to like acting, because like, hey, you could say the script perfectly like any other human being. You could have the emotion, you could cry, you could do all that things, and if you don't have the right look or the right features that this casting producer wants at this exact time, you're not going to get it.
You're not going to get it. And so that's what is frustrating. And I think there's a point you reach. Of course, there's a point you reach if you're successful where like you get that break.
Yeah, just because you're that person.
Yeah, at that moment you're that person. You're unknown, and all of a sudden you do something and you're known, and your name is known, and then people start kind of writing things for you, like, oh, this person would be good for that role, this role. Like, of course, the top actors, the most famous people are getting that. Yeah.
Have you read Matthew McConaughey's Green Lights book?
I haven't. No, I remember seeing him. He did a bunch of like podcasts when he
talking about it. Yeah, talking about it. I read it and listened to it, and he talks about how one day he was walking on the Santa Monica Pier. Literally, it was his routine to walk on the pier, just grab a drink, go walk. No one recognized him. After, I forget which movie dropped, the next day, everyone's swarming him on the Santa Monica Pier.
Isn't that crazy?
Overnight.
Yeah.
Overnight.
Yeah.
Like, definition of overnight success.
That's another thing of like, I don't know if I'd want that.
How so? Or why?
Like fame wise.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like most of what I do, and the things I'm pursuing, I'm curious. That's why I do them. Like, what is it like? Like, what would it like to be a famous actor? What would that be like? I don't know. What would it like to be a really well-known content creator? What would it like to be? Of course, I want to be successful things. Like, what would it like to have a lot of money?
Sure.
I didn't grow up with like a lot of money. Like, what are those things like? That's why I want to do them and kind of experience them. But as a little bit older I've gotten, I've been here a couple of years now, the more I've thought, like, I don't know
if you would want those things.
I don't know if I would like to be very famous. Like,
but the only way to truly find out is to experience it.
To do it, right?
Like, for example, you know the guy who wrote the song "Take Me to Church."
Mm-hmm. Is that
Hoser?
Yeah.
Hoser.
Yep.
Dude, do you hear anything about him anymore?
No. It's funny. I just saw a video. I see like once a year the same video of him singing in like a New York subway.
Oh, really?
Because like I think people were singing his song, so he stopped and sung it, and then it got recorded. And
Yeah.
went viral,
No,
like,
I know exactly what video you're talking about.
I just saw it again like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
The first time in a while.
So basically, like, fame fucked him up, apparently.
I bet.
And he was like, okay, I'm taking a step back. I'm going to be a normal person.
Mm-hmm.
But the only way to truly figure that out or find that out is to experience it.
Yeah.
You know, for example, I lived in a dope house in LA, and I got to experience like a really good quality lifestyle, and I wasn't happy.
Yeah.
And the only way to figure it out is to do it.
Absolutely. It's kind of the same thing with me downtown. I had an apartment when me and my girlfriend lived there.
Yeah.
That kind of a dream. It was a dream apartment. It was a super sick industrial 20-foot ceiling lofted studio apartment, big ass window front
with city views and shit.
We were on the second level, so it wasn't like a super high up view.
Sure.
But it was just like, even in college or like the year before that, it was like, if I could, that's an apartment I would love to have, but I don't think that can happen yet.
Sure.
And then it happened.
It happened so quickly.
And when we were there, it was like, yeah, it's cool, but you very quickly just don't care.
Yeah.
It's just your place. It's just another place you're coming back to.
Yeah.
And the apartment we moved from was not even close to as cool as that, but it wasn't that big of like a actual effect on me. Yeah. Of like, oh, I love. Mm-hmm. It was almost the opposite, because I felt like, oh, I need to really like this place because it's so cool. Mm-hmm. But it didn't matter very quickly. Very quickly, like within a month. Yeah, it was like you just get used to it, no matter what it is, good or bad. You just kind of, at least that's how I am. You just kind of get used to and accept it at that moment, and like it didn't bring me like a ton of happiness. Yeah, it was like, and it did kind of suck because it was in COVID, so it's not like it would have been a place where I would like to have people over. I guess. And you couldn't have a ton of people over the time. Yeah, only a few times did we have people over. Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting when you find, or when you do things that you think you would really, really want to do, and then you get there and it's just like, okay, whatever. Yeah. I think the curiosity thing's huge, though. I feel like you have to chase them to like really feel good about yourself. Yeah. Because if you don't chase those curiosities, then you end up with like some sort of regret, right? Yeah, which that is like, that's one of my biggest fears. Yeah. Then one of my biggest fears, like I think Gary Vee talks about like all the time, is like, it's like you're sitting on your deathbed, right? And you realize that, oh, I wish I tried this. I wish I did that. I wish I went on this adventure, that trip, dated this girl, like whatever, you know? Let me go to the bathroom. Yeah, go ahead. Alrighty, and we're back. We're back. So what you were saying, dude? We were talking about the regret stuff. The regret stuff, yeah. You were talking about a Gary Vee story. I don't remember who it was. I don't think it was Gary Vee, but another good story or like thought about that is that I've heard is, imagine, I wish I remember who said it. Imagine you were on your deathbed and all like the ghosts of the people you could have become are like surrounding you. Yeah. And just like kind of being like, damn, you could have been me. And they're all dying with you, and they never got to see, they never got to become. Yeah. They never, so like you could have the #1 podcast. Yeah. You could be the top bartender in LA. You could be, you're Bitters company could just blow the fuck up and be this like very wealthy CEO, or like get in the cocktail business and like be a very prominent figure there. Like all those things, whatever it is you want to do, those are the people you could become. And you know you could become them, but if you don't even try, and then they're like, those versions of you are dying with you when you die, and they never even got a chance. No,
it's that's a Les Brown quote.
Is it?
Les Brown, it's on a lot of motivational videos and stuff like that.
Damn, look at me.
No, it is.
I wish I remember who I just saw that. I don't think it was Gary Vee, but
I'm pretty sure it was Les Brown.
I don't know if I know that person.
Oh, okay.
So I might have seen them, just didn't know who they were.
Yeah, it's weird how that happens, because anytime it's back to the fear thing. It's the fear with like trying about like taking a chance on yourself. It's fear with crypto stock. Like fear is such a prominent thing in someone's life, and if they don't take a chance, like they end up with regret, and like you're gonna die with all those things that you wish you did but didn't do.
Yeah, and that's scary to me.
Really scary.
And not even dying, just like 10 years from now. Not even 10 years from now. I just feel like
a year from now, like anything, you know.
Like you can just get so locked into, especially now where it's like we're obviously young, we don't have kids, we're not married, but like there's all these big fucking things that are kind of supposed to happen about now, where it's like here now forward, if you do them, like you're kind of locked into this life, and it's a big deal. It's a big deal. And so it's like from where the age we are now, not that far in our future, our life could kind of be locked in. Like what if you had a kid, or you had a job, and then you had a kid or 2 kids?
Blows my mind, because I go home, dude, and a ton of friends have kids, and they're just like, that's their life. Yeah,
everyone's getting married, and you know, it's fine. So I always feel like I sound like I'm probably just talking shit about it all the time.
I don't think it's that, because like a lot of people who choose to have a kid or choose to get married at the time, that's like what they want to do. Like that's why they are there, and that's why we are here.
Yeah, I think.
Do you disagree?
I think it's what they want to do. But I don't disagree. I just do wish, like I wish more people would believe that they could go do something somewhere. Because people have like, I want to, if I could choose anything, I would go here or there and become this person. Yeah. And for whatever reason, numerous reasons, people don't. And I just think when you stick around, it sounds like you're kind of from like a smaller town in California, right?
Yeah.
Where in California?
Fresno,
California. Yeah. So like it's just the mentality there, and it's not even like it's conscious exactly, but it's just that's what everyone's doing.
That's what everyone does.
So it's just influenced you.
And this is why I do it. Yeah.
So you're like, I'm at this time, I'm with this person or whatever. I have this job. I should get married. You know, that whole thing is typical. I don't really honestly know where I'm going with it, but I do wish, because I feel like anyone could become anything.
Yeah,
so I want them to fucking try. I guess
that's very.
I want you to fucking try.
That's very awesome of you, but like, I also am like happy that they don't at sometimes, because there's a lot. It's not like competition, but there's a lot of people in LA, right? Yeah. There's a lot of people doing it. Like, cool, yeah, I do.
I don't want any more.
I do agree. Like, hey, if you have that motivation to do whatever you want to do and go out and do it, like, do it. That's awesome. Like, I want everyone. I feel like anyone could. I feel like everybody can win. I feel like there is like a piece of pie for everyone out there in this world, and if you take a chance on yourself and really pursue it, like you could do that. But it also takes a lot. It takes a lot, because like what me and you are doing right now, especially in our times in our lives, we're taking a chance, and we also come to the point where like if you see any stagnation of your life, you're like, what are you doing? Like, get back up, do it. And the thing that you're doing with the TikToks and like content creation is like, you are not stagnating at all. Or me doing this podcast right now, I'm not stagnating at all, because what are we doing? We are doing something that we want to do, and therefore getting better at it. And by definition, that is not stagnation.
Yeah, absolutely. At the same time, though, like other parts of my life, I do feel like that. Like
what?
Just like, okay, like F45. It's like, okay, I've been doing this for a year.
Sure.
I'm trying to.
I feel that way with personal training.
I'm trying to progress in this, and it's like, but then it's then the whole thing of, because I was thinking maybe, you know, because when I thought about personal training, I always thought about being a one-on-one personal trainer.
Sure.
I never thought it'd be group fitness until it became group fitness. So then, of course, I get exposed to the whole fitness culture in LA, and it's really big. It's fucking huge. And so
it's an understatement. Fitness culture in LA is a different beast compared to anywhere else.
Of course, I've considered like, okay, do I want to try to take on some private clients? I was gonna do that at one point, but then I was just like, I don't know if I want to do that. So then I just never did, and I was like, hey, well, what do I want to do? Like, so I'm doing all this other shit, but I do want to. I always just want to be doing better, so I want to make more money than I'm making right now. So it's like, how can I do that and still have time to build the other things and do the other things that I'm doing? So that feels a little stagnant, but it does get counterbalanced of like, okay, like you're saying, I'm trying to build up my presence on these platforms, and I'm trying to do that every single day to accomplish something, and that is happening, and it is working. It's a slow grind.
Yeah, you've seen progress though.
Yeah, and so that's motivating. Of course, you have the days where it's like, you know, but especially with TikTok, like,
you'll spend a lot of time on a video and you won't see any like traction, but you'll, you know.
Well, that, but like just the comparison, which obviously everyone says you shouldn't do, but it's, you do it. Like,
like, comparison's the thief of joy.
Yeah, so I've gone from 0 to 500 something. It's like, that's fucking awesome. Like, most of the time, I feel really great about that right now. But of course, there's times where I see someone else's profile and you're just like, damn. What the fuck? Like,
it's also terms of content too. Like, my girlfriend posted a dancing video and she gained like, I think 3,000 followers on TikTok.
See, that's what's good about TikTok and bad. It scares me because it can happen, and if it happens for the wrong reason, then it kind of fucks you. Like, if you blow up your account for a video that's not really about what you're about on TikTok, then it's like you have all these people who follow you for the wrong reason, and they're not really going to engage with you.
It's with the algorithm too. I don't know if you heard about this, but there's, you know, all the TikToks that happen in China. Do you know?
What about?
Do you hear about them? So they're all like they all help you in the sense of like, they're like tools. So there's a lot of TikToks about like installing like flooring or like hardware or doing things on a daily. And there's a lot of and there's like not a lot of that in the United States, you know.
They're just not as like the famous ones. They're not as big, right?
No, they're just as big. No, I'm just saying like these are very big
in the US.
No, it's not big in the US. Yeah. Well, you look at US TikTok, it's a lot of it's dancing. Yeah. A lot of it's like, obviously there's niches of it, but like I see millions of followers watching this dude dance with food on his stomach every single day. Like, what is that? These people in China are probably like, these fucks, like well, they're getting dumber.
Well, that's what I've heard. I don't know if it's a theory or if it's they're getting dumber. I don't know. I've heard a theory or read a theory somewhere. I came across it, and I don't know if it's a theory or if it's fact. Yeah. But that, in China it's like a lot of educational shit. Yeah. So they're getting the content that they push there is to make people better and smarter, and here the content that's pushed is just kind of like entertainment. So the theory is that TikTok or whatever is kind of supposed to be, it's like hacking, it's like brainwashing the US to make us stupider and like weaker and not care about like actually things that make society better. And other countries are doing that.
That's exactly what I was talking about. Yeah. But the counter argument to that is like, yo, I'm a way better cook because of like Instagram and TikTok. I know how to like tie a tie properly. Like I know how to clean my cast iron pan. Like all these things I wouldn't have known how to do properly without Instagram and TikTok. And it sounds ridiculous to say, but like that's just.
Bro, they help. It's ridiculous when you go on. So I didn't use TikTok until.
I need to get on it after you told me.
You need to get on it because I really think it's can change. I mean, you know that. You already told me that. You know people who are like within a year. Like you'll see videos. I just saw a video the other day of this girl. I have no idea who she is, but just saying I I just started making TikToks, and within a year, she was like making crazy money as a content creator in less than a year.
Yeah.
Just because she started doing it regularly, and then got hired as a brand.
Yeah.
Or got hired with like some brand.
Yeah.
To be their content creator and making like great money in less than 1 year. So like it really is and can change people's lives for the better if you're using it that way. Like obviously you don't have to use it that way. Like, a lot of people use it just for like entertainment.
Yeah, I've kind of seen small success for that and for brand stuff. So like, you follow me on Instagram? You know, I was posting like kettlebell videos with Caitlin. Yeah. And ever since I started doing those, dude, I got some brands send me a pair of socks. Some brands sent me some supplements. Yeah. And like, I'm not followed by like a lot of people, but like, I was like, oh, like I just was consistent on that for 2 months and people sent me shit. Yeah. And I was like, that's cool. Yeah. Like getting free stuff. I mean, I'm not getting paid or anything. Yeah. But like, I was like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, I don't know. I'm kind of just getting into all that whole like world of the content creator, and that's what's. I feel inspired to do that as I did when I wanted to move to LA for acting.
How so?
Just like I just feel like I really want to do it. Like I really want to put the work in. Like that was frustrating 'cause when I first got to LA. I didn't know what to do. Yeah. I got an agent and they really weren't that fucking helpful. Yeah. And I didn't have any.
How did you go about getting an agent, by the way, for all the people out there who want to move to LA, get into acting or modeling or whatever? So like, what was your process to get an agent?
I did a little bit of work with this management company back in Minneapolis. From the time I was like a senior in high school through college on and off, because I didn't go to the college I went to wasn't close. So like I would be away for a while and I didn't really know if I wanted to do it, yada yada. Because from the time I started there, they were talking about coming out to LA. They would do this trip out here to introduce their talent with like photographers out here and try to get them to meet some agents and casting directors, who they could. And so it was like this thing they were always pushing, and I don't know, I just didn't know if I wanted to do it. But then once I decided I did want to do it, I started acting one summer. At first it was just like some modeling stuff. And then I started acting. I worked like an acting coach, did like weekly lessons this summer, my sophomore year of college, I think. Okay. And then I went abroad through school and I did like an acting and writing class in Europe.
Oh, no way.
And
so
that was when I was like, okay, like I want to do this. And so when I came back to school, I left school. When I came back to the US, I left school and was going to move out here in 2019. Or excuse me, no, before 2019. It must have been like 2017 or something. Yeah. And they stopped doing the trip. And I wanted to do the trip to make sure I liked it out here first before actually moving. I wanted to just go and come out here and see if I liked it. Sure. And so then I was just working. Went back to school, ended up finishing because I only had 3 semesters. I was already on a lease for a house, yada, yada. And came back out here then in 2019, and we did this. And it was better because they stopped doing the first trip, but then they would bring a group of people and they did like a talent show basically down by the airport by LAX. It was at a hotel over there. It was a whole weekend of actors, models, singers, and dancers. It really was just like a talent show in front of casting directors, agents. And then at the end of the weekend, you would basically get a list back of who was interested in you, and you'd go like talk with them, and you'd have to like network with them in this big banquet hall.
And that's how you got the.
And yeah, so I had a decent amount of interest from a handful of them, and then of course they try to tell you who's better and who's not, and that's how I got my first agent when I moved here.
Oh shit, yeah. That's not very common.
No.
Because a lot of people be calling up people, submitting stuff.
So it was good. It definitely.
Because a lot of people struggle to get their first agent out there.
Yeah, and my agent wasn't. My experience with them was not what I was told. It was not what
you expected.
I expected based off what I was told. But it was also a weird time being. I mean, they weren't the best before COVID, and then COVID happened, and it was just like. Yeah. I mean, there was nothing going on, so like. Yeah. But the communication was just very poor. Yeah. And I was trying, like, I was jacked up to like fucking learn. Like, just tell me what I need to do. Yeah. Just fucking tell me what I need to do. I'm gonna do it. Yeah. That's how I felt, and I just felt like they weren't. Telling me what I needed to do, which might honestly not be their role. That might be kind of more the role of like a manager, where they're more personal with you. but I had to learn that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like the agent I have now. I fucking love.
That's awesome.
He's great. Shout out to Daniel Hahn.
Come on, Daniel.
Yeah.
What do you call it? So what are you most excited for in your life right now? Because you're doing the content creating, you're doing some acting, you're doing F45 still. Like, you kind of settled in LA. You've been here for 3 years. Like, everyone always says if you make it after like the first couple years in LA, like you're gonna stay out here and grind and do your thing.
Yeah. Sorry, what was the question?
What are you most excited for in your life right now?
What am I most excited for? I think the content. I think the both though, because the acting I'm doing right now is just commercials. That's the auditions I'm doing, and they're really similar to the content I'm making.
Yeah.
Like, the commercial acting is a lot different than like theatrical acting. It's honestly more. I took a class about it. It's you really need to think about it just as like advertising and like marketing. And
sure.
It's not about you. It's about the product that
sure.
is the commercial. And it's a lot of just kind of talking straight to the camera or kind of just over it and like interacting and things. But like the auditions I do, the self-tapes I make are pretty similar kind of setup or whatever. But the point I'm getting to is I'm excited about both of them together because I think they can work together. I think like if I build up my platforms and just have more awareness,
one could help the other. Yeah,
and then it's the same thing you're just kind of talking about. Like, brands will reach out and then they'll know, I've done acting, so then I could do commercials for maybe these brands if they want, or whatever, or just have sponsorship on my pages. So yeah, those two things together are really what I'm excited for. And
are you pretty comfortable in front of a camera now?
Yeah. Definitely.
The hardest thing that I've ever done, I filmed one vlog in my entire life.
So weird.
And you're walking down the street holding the camera right in front of you. You're like, "What's up, guys?"
Yeah,
you know?
It feels weird. I still will feel weird about that in public.
Yeah.
But it's almost kind of a switch because like I still think it's weird. But if like I've been hired for something, I just gotta be like, I just don't give a fuck. And you just gotta act like I don't give a fuck. I am an actor right now.
Yeah.
Like, I am doing this shit. I got hired for this. But like there's been auditions where I do have to like there was one I had to go on a walk around my neighborhood and like film it, and I did feel really weird in my neighborhood. I was like, is anyone watching me right now? I'm just like by myself talking. I don't know.
It's weird that people like, or you have the stigma that it's weird because we both watch people who do that all the time on YouTube. Yeah. And it's weird that we feel that it's weird. Like I'm trying to convince myself in my head that like it's normal, and especially we live in LA, it is quote unquote normal, but you still have that stigma.
Because I think because you're probably a good person, and you're not. You're not like everything's about me. And,
yeah, maybe because it's
that self-centered where it's like, this is great. I'm just talking to myself. I don't know. I don't know. You know, it's like, who am I kind of thing.
Yeah. No.
So you feel a little weird doing it, and I think it can look, I don't know if you'd say arrogant or just self-centered, but it's funny.
Yeah.
And it feels, because it's also not natural.
Yeah, it's definitely not natural.
You're ignoring the literal real people around you as you just talk to your camera.
Compared to like this, because like we're having a conversation, it is being filmed, we are talking, but like through a mic, but it's just like two people sitting down having a conversation about like real life shit. Yeah. You know, so like that's way more comfortable, you know, than like you filming yourself of your face. Yeah. Like, you know.
It also, I think it's definitely more normal here, but definitely like where I come from in Minnesota, and probably for you in Fresno.
Yeah,
like
filming
it stands out. I was kind of like, who are you?
Even me filming like a workout. Yeah. It's just like, what are you doing, bro?
Well, that's kind of the like kind of what I was saying earlier. Like that's kind of how I felt, and it wasn't even like an experience where it was like someone's. You'd kind of get. I guess I would kind of get like some passive shit, like people trying to poke fun. Yeah. But nothing that really like bothered me. Yeah. But it's just like I don't know if you'd say subliminal, like the subconscious influence or like expectations of that. Yeah. Of society in that area or whatever as you're growing up is stands out, and like that's kind of weird. Sure. So you know that you're like, oh, people probably think it's kind of weird if I'm doing this. Yeah. Well, here that's one thing that's great about LA, where it's so weird that you're never gonna be the weirdest.
Dude,
you're never really gonna stand out that much.
Yesterday, I was in in an outline. I got out of work at 2 a.m. Right, and there's this dude. He's just tripping off drugs, and he's sitting. So where there's the person you're talking to get the food from, and he's 5 feet in front, and he pulls his pants down, like right next to my car. He's like a huge boner, and I was like, "This is great." I was like, "This is LA for you." And then I was walking.
This is great.
I was driving in WeHo 2 weeks ago, and it's the first time I went out in WeHo, and there's this like tall like black guy just walking down, strutting like a model, like across the crosswalk. Yeah. And this dude had no pants too, just that hard on like walking, and I was like, "Damn, this is
this is great."
This isn't even like a homeless guy. This is just like
what?
This isn't even like a homeless guy.
He's got no pants on?
Yeah, no. Like he had like pants, but like like a hole. You know what I'm saying?
He had a hole, so his dick was out.
Yeah. Yeah. The guy Carl Jr. was homeless. This guy was just like normal. I don't know what he was doing. It was weird. Just strutting down. He's like
just showing off.
Yeah, dude. I was like,
look what I got.
I was like, at least I don't think I'm that weird yet.
No.
Or like I'm that, I don't know. I could be confident too. This guy had peace.
No, you're not. I don't think you're walking down the street straight boning, boner out and everything.
Yeah.
No, I talked about this with my friend who just moved here too, because he'll say he's kind of like obnoxious basically, and he's from North Dakota. I went to college with him, so in Minnesota, and how at times he felt, like he was annoying because of how obnoxious he is, and kind of stood out in that sense, and where like now that he's here, he's like, I can never, like, I could never be the weirdest. Like, there's the weirdest shit everywhere. It's like, yeah, dude, you're never like, you get so used to seeing the weirdest shit every single day, and it's usually homeless people being crazy, like not just homeless people, but like the drugged up homeless people who are just acting wild, like literally acting like animals, or like foaming at the mouth. Like my mom and my sister came out to visit once. Yeah. And we were in on Santa Monica and La Brea, right by the F-45 there. Yeah. At that little area where you can sit. There's like a Starbucks there. Yeah. And I'd had a handful of, like, I'd been here a couple of years now, like homeless, there's crazy people everywhere. You get used to it. And sometimes they like want your attention, you can tell. And then they just kind of want it, and maybe they want to mess with you or something, but they go away. Mm-hmm. And this person had a shopping cart. I don't know if they're a guy or a girl. I couldn't tell. And they were foaming at the mouth and spitting, just going, just like making the weirdest noises, and looked kind of like what you'd think of someone who's like crazy with like rabies or something. And they were walking straight up to us at this table with this like shopping cart of shit. So I'm thinking, okay, they're gonna come up close and then walk away. They're gonna walk away. No, this person literally stopped it at us. They fucking spit on me. I was like, during COVID, I was like, fuck, dude. And I don't know. They just stopped and were just like, they wanted to be right there. So I think I told them to get the fuck away. But then we moved. Like, I don't even remember where I was going with that, but it was just like the weirdest shit.
Just weird shit.
The weirdest shit, and they didn't just want attention. Like, they were coming up just to stand there. Yeah. And like that, I guess that's just an example.
That's
like
not
crazy shit.
Yeah. Christina, one time she was coaching at F-45 in WeHo, and she walked outside and some lady just kicked her. She was like, "Ow! Why did you do that?" She was like, "Don't kick me!" No, and she kept trying, and she just like walked away quickly. She's like, God. "Why are you kicking me?
What's wrong with you?" We have people in Santa Monica. They'll come in. They'll just walk in. Yeah. One dude the other day, I didn't see them, but I forget. I was with one of our girl trainers. And she goes, "There's someone in the bathroom." I was in the bathroom, and then I came out. I must have like just missed them. I don't know. Yeah. She's like, "There's someone in the bathroom." She's like, "They don't really look homeless, but they're drinking a beer, so I think they're homeless." Because it's 8 in the morning. Like, in a Modelo.
That's crazy that there's a liquor store open in Santa Monica at like 7 a.m.
Like, it's good because I think they help, but also it attracts. Yeah. because they help.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're a liquor store it took me a while to realize that, like, that's weird that they're open they do sell other things like foods and like some energy drinks. So it's kind of a convenience store, but like 75 mostly a liquor store.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's strange. They open so fucking early.
Yeah.
But yeah, people will just try to walk in there. They'll just come in. They'll be dancing. We have a big window front, so you can see them. They'll come up to the window.
Yeah.
They're being wild. They'll be screaming in the street. It's dark when we get there because it's so early. The sun's not up yet. And there was one time, like in the winter, it must have been like in January, December. And there's areas they can be where now that I know the area that these block pretty well, where I kind of know where they are. But there's like cement barriers. I think from like COVID, I don't know.
Yeah.
Of like where the bike lane is.
Sure.
And sometimes there'll be people across the street, like homeless people sitting up, barricaded up to that. But there was one morning where it was just dark and someone was just like evil laughing in the dark and you couldn't see them.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So it's just like strange. I don't know.
That is strange. All right, dude. I think we've done enough time. Do you have where can everyone find you?
Where can you find me? You can find me. I just changed everything to my name, Kolton Oie. On YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram. Yeah, you can find the Come Up if you want to listen to it. I haven't made an episode in about a year. There's 17 of them, about 20 of them. Those are all on Spotify, Apple Music, or Apple Podcasts.
Okay.
iHeartRadio.
Basically everywhere you can find
everywhere you can find a podcast. Those are on. I'll be doing those again sometime in the future.
Coming soon. Once you get everything locked and loaded.
Yeah, I just want to keep growing with the short form content stuff and figure that out because that's constantly changing as well.
Heck yeah. And then if anyone wants to train with you at F45, how do they connect with that? And anyone in the Santa Monica area?
Just go to F45santamonica.com. Or if you want to, I'm still interested in training personal clients. It would just have to be the right situation if anyone wants.
Oh, yeah. If you guys want to
DM me on Instagram or any of the platforms, I'll see if it works out. But yeah.
Sounds good, guys. All right. Peace.
Shit.
That was fun, bro.
That was great.